There you go, buddy.
My second 100-mile ultramarathon is in the books. I am going to bring you along for the full weekend of fun. I have a little bit of race footage, some pictures from the race, and even did a little bit of a podcast style recap after the race was over. From my truck camping before the race to crossing the finish line and everything in between. So here's how it all went down. 100 miles later, and I was still smiling. So I wanted to do try out my little camping setup the night before the race. So I drove up to Cherryvale, Kansas, which is like an hour and 15 minutes from the race site. I have new cooking set up here today. My buddy Cody made it for me. And 2 nights before, I stayed there. I really just relaxed. Cooked my steak, potatoes, and mac and cheese. And just hung out by the campfire. So it was very relaxing. Didn't have to worry about packing anything, and just got to do nothing and to kind of think about the race the night before. Next day, got up kind of slow. Didn't really set an alarm. Up in the back of my truck, so felt very comfy. Sleep pretty good in the back of that thing now with that foam mattress. Don't want to go over too much about the night before, but we ate at a little hibachi place. Since I was able to have everything done, just checked in, dropped off my drop bags, and came back and just went to sleep pretty early. I woke up at 3:30, couldn't go back to sleep. Race didn't start till 6, but I just went ahead and got up. Ate my usual breakfast, apples, my no-bake cookies, and have some oats in there, coffee, and then got ready to go to the race site. Got there about 10 minutes before the race, and the race started right at 6 o'clock. I really started, I felt like as slow as I possibly could. I mean, I could have started slower, I could have walked, of course, but I was feeling really good. I didn't start off too fast. My heart rate was really low the whole time. I was hanging out at about a 10:30 pace for the first 5 miles on completely flat, perfect weather, and perfect running surface. I felt like it was about right at that time. Okay, 1 hour in. I'm feeling really strong. I'm at about 11:30 pace. Keep my heart rate down low. I'm just gonna keep running. Enjoying the monotony of this. Able to just zone out and run. I'm looking forward to the day, for sure. It was pretty fun to take a screenshot. Every hour I took a screenshot of my mileage to see how it started to fall apart and where my pace started going drastically wrong. So this course is completely different than anything I've ever run. It only had 1,500 feet of elevation gain for the whole race. It was just a perfect crushed granite. It used to be a railroad, so it was just perfect. Just wear regular shoes, and their feet never really started hurting like a ultra and the trails that I normally do. So it was a nice change to try this. 2 hours in. Got to the first aid station pretty fast. Still under a 12-minute mile. Let's see how long I can keep that pace. I pretty much run for 2 hours straight. I have not really walked any. Starting at about mile 16. Tina was meeting me at every aid station, getting me fully stocked up and all that jazz, which is nice.
Doing good.
Right at 12-minute miles. So you have to get back down there. I feel like I can keep this pace now.
Okay, good. See anything cool?
Just the sunrise was nice.
That's cool.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. See you at the next town?
Yep.
All right, dude.
Man.
Good luck. Keep killing it.
You know, I usually don't have somebody helping me with these races. But Leadville, I had a whole crew, which is awesome. But I should get going to be so self-sufficient. I forget how nice it is to have somebody helping. I'm about 16 miles in, averaging about 11:30. Stomach's still feeling good. I feel like I'm right on track. Slowing down a little bit. It's weird how it feels like I've just been running uphill in my mind. This seems uphill the whole way. 21 miles in. Been running with this little guy for a while. It's getting a little hard. Legs are getting heavy again. But I'm still kind of shuffling along. How to keep around 13-minute mile pace now.
Hey, good job, buddy.
From mile 21 to about 28, I was really starting to struggle to even keep it under a 15-minute mile pace. And you can see when I'm leaving this mile 25 aid station, I'm actually starting to get a little bit of a ultramarathon lean to the right. Didn't really realize that during the race, but it's kind of interesting to see it now.
The first 50K, 31 miles, was about at 7 hours, which is not one of my fastest 50Ks, which is good since it's such a long race. So I still felt like I was at about the right pace that I needed to be going. I was having to stop and pee a lot, which was taking a lot of time. Not really sure. I guess I was drinking too much, maybe too many electrolytes. It's crazy, I've been doing this for 5 years and I still made some mistakes. Some mental mistakes and some mistakes I really don't know what the cause of them was.
Yeah.
I owe it 6.
I owe it 6. All right, gotcha. Keep grinding, dude.
33 and a half miles in. I still feel reasonably strong, I think. Having to run, trying to run like a 3/4 of a mile and then walk a 1/4 of a mile. Just finished 35 miles. It's at a 12:50 miles. That's my best mile in a long time. We're this close to the road now for a bit. I'm at about 14, 18 average pace. Still eating good. Used the bathroom a few times, just peeing. Doing okay. Everything really was going right at plan. I kept my sub 24-hour pace, which was my goal for the first, I don't know, maybe 40 miles, close to 50 miles. And then it started to be, I wanted to be under 27:50, and then it turned into being under 29, which is still an hour and a half PR. And there were some mistakes in there, and it kind of made that kind of fall apart.
I got to see Tina here at the Colony Aid Station about mile 41. I was doing pretty good up until that point. Mile 37, 16-minute mile, then a 14-minute mile, then a 15-minute mile, then a 14-minute mile before the aid station. And then it kind of started going bad a little bit.
There you go, Jared. You doing all right?
I think so.
All right, cool, man.
I remember I put my GoPro up I was done trying to video and talk. So now it'll just be some voiceover stuff and then the podcast stuff and then a little bit of stuff that Tina has given us the rest of the way.
Good job, Jared.
At mile 51, at the turnaround, I was still at about a 15:30 pace, which was really good. It's about to be going into night. I always feel excited about the night. I never really dread it. 57 miles in, at a 15:45 pace now. My hip flexors are starting to go a little bit hard to run. Still eating okay. Pissing like crazy. I think I got about 3 miles to the next aid station. And I'll see Tina. So everything was still going pretty good. I was averaging like, I think I actually had a 100K PR.
All right.
So this time, one of my mental mistakes is just a thunderstorm came through about 1 o'clock and I put my rain pants on. I did not need to put my rain pants on. And I had to run really hard. So at mile 70, I'm running a 12-minute mile pace, which was a little aggressive for me at that time, but I'm really just trying to be under 16-minute miles. I think getting really hot, plus running for like 5 miles pretty fast, I got a little bit of chafing in my undercarriage that I never got before in one of these races or any of my other adventures. So for this race, I had some chafing and I had my first real blister of one of these things. With the blister, I don't know, it didn't really affect me any. Maybe the pain from the other thing made the blister not feel so bad. I used the bathroom for the last time at Garnett Aid Station, which is in an old train depot, and I picked up Tina, and then we took off for the last 70, I think, like 75, 77. So the last 23, 25 miles, he was going to be with me the rest of the way. Okay, we picked up Tina, started walking pretty slow, just trying to walk. My goal for a while had been to just walk at about a 16-minute mile pace. So try to concentrate and walk that fast. We've been okay, averaging decent, maybe 17, 18-minute miles. Then mile 80 is kind of when it all went downhill. There never was a chance of stopping. If I'd have been by myself, I'd gotten really tired. I might have laid down on the trail and napped a little bit. But I started falling asleep when the sun came up. It was weird. I was hoping to be done before the sun came up was my goal, my big goal. That's taking a lot of time. And I started really slowing down. 20-minute miles is pretty much what I'm averaging the rest of the way in. I think it took me over 7 hours to do the last 20, and I was around 4 hours, 15 minutes for the first 20, which I guess makes sense. But my goal for this race was to be able to run at the end. Wasn't quite able to. I don't know if I would have been able to anyway, even if I didn't have the uncomfortableness. What made the end of the race kind of exciting, I guess you could say, was that I really started to get really sleepy. I didn't want to look ahead because you could just see forever. So I just kind of looked down at my feet then I'd close my eyes, and then I'd start to veer off the trail. I would just kept going left, kept veering off the trail. Tina would say, veer right, and I'd come back to the center. And we'd do that for a while. He'd come back, I'd hear him come back, and then I'd start walking again. I do remember one time I just walked straight left, right off the trail into the trees. And I was actually, I think I was for sure sleepwalking at that point. And I hit a tree softly, and then kind of woke me up for a little bit. So I remember the last 5 miles just took forever. It was decent, I was kind of going decently. But what's crazy is that I passed somebody, and I kind of felt bad. I passed him in the last quarter mile of a 100-mile race. I finished under 29, and I wasn't really finishing. I never got emotional like I usually do at the end of most of these races. I just kind of finished the race. I was proud of myself, but I never really felt like I was going to stop. So finishing up, what I think about the Prairie Spirit Trail, the different races, it's a very fun course. I think people are excited because it's so flat, but then just being non-stop flat for that long, it really does take some training. I remember my hip flexors were hurting, and my quads were also hurting, which was very surprising. If you do this race, train a lot of flat, and not just like a little bit, not just a few hours. I mean multiple hours completely flat. A lot of people, there was I think 58 people signed up, 57 people signed up, and I think 17 or 18 dropped out. And I think a lot of it, that storm was part of it. But I think a lot of it, you just get so sore from using the same muscles. This is a very easy course to do by yourself. You don't really have to have a crew. But it's also, this crew is it's the easiest race for the crew I've ever gone to. You just get to drive from one town to the next. Never have to get off regular roads. You got subways, you got gas, anything you need. Every 10 miles. So for the racer, if this is a great first 100-mile race, for sure, being completely flat and good terrain, you can just wear regular shoes. The Outlaw always does a good job of it. And I'm glad I did it, achieving my second 100-mile race completion.